Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to start a new chapter as I already finished the last chapter which we are dealing with world population. I already finished two of the chapter 1 and chapter 2 from the part A book, that is Fundamental of Human Geography. Today I am going to start a new chapter 1 of second book, that is part B book. Name of the book is India's People and Economy. So let's start. Let's begin with the first chapter. That is, name of the chapter is Population, Distribution, Density, Growth and Composition. Population, Distribution, Density, Growth and Composition. So this chapter is related with the chapter 2 of the part A book, World Population. There also we have read about the few of the concepts related with population growth, migration, these things. So I just want to say you that in that chapter we had read about the few of the concept or principle of population geography and the data and information of world population over the entire earth or the world. Here our specific study is related with India only. India and the relation of India with other neighboring and different countries of the world. So mainly here we are going to compare India with different country, and all the data is related with India's population and distribution. Okay, so let's start this topic today, that is India population, distribution, density, growth and composition. As I already said in the earlier classes that people are the very important component of any country. For any country, it is very difficult to recognize a country without the citizen of the country. India is the second most populous country after China, as we already seen it. 121 crore or 1.21 million population is there of India according to 2011 census. India's population is larger than the total world population of North America, South America and Australia put together. In such a large area has even the lesser population than India alone. India comprises more than the population of altogether the North America, South America and Australia. So we can see it from here and argue that such a large population invariably puts pressure on its limited resources, the limited resources of India, and is also responsible for many socio-economic problems in the country itself. So we need to look into these matters here, these things in detail in this chapter. How do you perceive the idea of India? Means here it is asking that India को हम लोग किस तरीके से जानते हैं. India is known by its territory. So second is it simply a territory? Means India के बाउंड्री से हम इंडिया को जाना जाता है क्या? Does this signify an amalgam of people? कि उसको इंडिया को यहाँ के लोगों से जाना जाता है? Is it the territory inhabited by people living under certain institution or governance? Means out of these three options, क्या इंडिया एक को मेनली उसके टेरिटरी और उसके इंटरनेशनल बाउंड्री के थ्रू जाना जाता है, या फिर इंडिया को यहाँ के लोगों के रूप में जाना जाता है, या फिर इंडिया को यहाँ के लोग जो कि यहाँ के इंस्टीट्यूशन और गवर्नेंस के अंदर में लीव कर रहे हैं, सेटल्ड हैं, उनके थ्रू जाना जाता है? तो ऑब्वियसली थर्ड ऑप्शन इज द करेक्ट आंसर. Why? Because every country have certain rules and regulation in the form of some sort of laws which every citizen has or need to obey, and that each and every country is known by its people, citizen, which functions within the overall framework of the law, rules, regulation of the country framed by the parliament or the decision making authority. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss the pattern of distribution, density, growth and composition of India's population mainly, not about other things. Okay, so firstly we will discuss here about India's population, and then we will compare it with other countries or on the Asia level or the world level. Okay, sources of population data. So official source of population data is census. Everybody knows it. So thus census is a data or the statistical collection of data which held every 10 years in our country. तो हर 10 साल के बाद सेंसस कंडक्ट किया जाता है और सेंसस के बेसिस पे इंडिया के का पॉपुलेशन और उससे रिलेटेड डेटा को फ्रेम करके स्ट्रैटेजाइज करके हम यूज करते हैं, उससे इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करते हैं, उसके यूजेस से डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ पॉलिसी एंड प्लान्स फ्रेम करती है यहाँ के गवर्नमेंट को. एंड दैट्स वाई अभी एक इशू सुन रहे होगे आप लोग नेशनल पॉपुलेशन के बारे में, नेशनल पॉपुलेशन पॉलिसी. ठीक है, एनसीआर एनपीआर की बात सुन रहे होगे. ठीक है, तो एनपीआर क्या है? नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर इज ऑल अबाउट census itself. It's not about national citizenship register, which is NCR. NCR is mainly related with citizenship. Means whoever is the citizen of India has to show some sort of data or some sort of proof that he or she is the citizen of India. And after showing that data, that register is mainly for the citizen of India. Instead, NPR is for population residing within the geographical boundary of India or within the territory of India. There is no call as such that the person residing need to prove its citizenship under NPR. This is just a national population register which each and every government used to conduct before every census, so that real picture or real population data can be gathered on and based upon these data government has to frame different type of plans and policies related with welfare of the people. So now you can understand the difference between NPR and NCR. So census in India held every 10 years. Okay, first population census in India was conducted in 1972 under the viceroyship of Lord Mayo, but this was not the complete census. The first complete census was conducted in 1881 under the Lord Ripon. Okay, means at the time of first complete census, Lord Ripon was the viceroy of India. After the independence of India, this census is done under the Registrar General of India or Census Commissioner of India. So nowadays after independence it is under these institutions. Now the next topic today is about the distribution of population. So here it is saying about to see or examine the figure 1.1. What is there in this figure? Let's see it. This is figure 1.1, distribution of population. So you can see it here that there is a table here. 1 dot is equal to 2 lakh persons. Means whatever 1 dot is represented on this map is equal to 2 lakh person, So this is the scale on which this data is framed. So you can see it here that density of population is more in the northern plains. You can see it here that density of population is more in the northern plains of Bihar, Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, some bit near about Delhi and these area, Haryana, Punjab. Besides that, density is more in Kerala also and entire coastal region of India. As compared to this area, the density of population is comparatively relatively lower in the interior of the land, in the desert area of Rajasthan, in the cold desert area or hilly region of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and except Assam, other sisterly states of northeast India. So these regions have relatively lesser population or lesser population density. So by that time, now I think you would be very clear of the population distribution throughout the India. Now from this figure we will try to describe the pattern of spatial distribution of population as shown in this figure. India has a higher uneven pattern of population distribution. Just see it here, somewhere population is more, somewhere there is less number of people or population. So it is very uneven pattern distribution. Okay. The percentage share of population of the states and UTs in the country is shown under appendix 1 of your textbook. You can look at that appendix and you can compare from there, and that appendix shows, and this diagram also exhibits the data given under that appendix. This data and the appendix is showing that Uttar Pradesh has the highest population, followed by Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal and other states. So from this map also you can see it that these states have more population by number. I am not talking about density right now. I am just talking about the exact population, number of people residing in the particular state. So if you look at the appendix 1, then you will get that more number of people used to reside in UP. UP has the largest population, followed by Maharashtra and then Bihar and West Bengal. Okay. In South India, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, then Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Gujarat are the different states having highest population. If we consider the whole of these maximum highly populated states, including UP, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Karnataka and Gujarat, only these states and UTs, including these states and UTs put together accounts for about 76% of the total population of the country. Okay, so it's very huge. Very limited number of let's say it is just been near about 9 to 10 states covering 76% of the total population of the country. If you look and compare the other than these country, then there is certain states like J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, having a very large area, but it accounts for only 0.98% of the India's population, not even the 1% of the India's population. Arunachal Pradesh, a very large state but very less density of population, very less populated area, it covers only 0.11% of the total population of India. Same way Uttarakhand and Himachal are relatively lesser populated area of India. So these states have fairly large area, but population density is comparatively very lesser. Such an uneven spatial distribution of population in India suggests a close relationship between the population and physical, social, economic, and historical factor. So these uneven spatial distribution of population in India suggest a close relationship between the population and physical, socio economic and historical factor. As we had read in the last chapter, there are different factors responsible for pattern of population distribution, and there we had already read about the physical factor, physiological factors, geographical factors, socio-economic factors, historical factors. So from there you can relate that uneven spatial distribution is because of the close relationship between all these factors together. As far as physical factors are concerned, it is clear that the climate along with terrain and availability of water largely determine the pattern of population distribution. In physiological factor or the geographical factor, we had read about mainly these things, that availability of water is necessary for the proper distribution of or the higher distribution and density of population in a particular area. Same way, the climate also determines the distribution of population in a particular area. Same way, terrain, if there is gentle slope or a comparatively no slope or a plain area, then distribution or density of population is more in such an area rather than comparison with the mountainous region or region with typical terrain. So by this we can observe that North Indian plains, deltas and coastal plains have higher proportion of population than the interior district of South and Central Indian states. Same way, Himalayas, some of the northeastern and the western states have comparatively lesser population density. But because of some of the intervention made by we people or the human being, like with the development of irrigation facility, like in case of Rajasthan, or the availability of some sort of minerals and energy resources, like in case of Jharkhand, and the development of transport network, mainly in case of peninsular states. These factors has resulted in moderate to high concentration of population in these area, despite the fact that these area were previously very thinly populated. Okay, तो पहले ये एरिया थिनली पॉपुलेटेड थे, लेकिन टाइम के साथ इन फैक्टर्स के कारण, ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशंस के कारण, जैसे कि इन केस ऑफ राजस्थान में इरिगेशन फैसिलिटी हम लोगों ने डेवलप किया, झारखंड एरिया में मिनरल्स एंड एनर्जी रिसोर्स पाए गए, उनके लिए हम माइनिंग कर रहे हैं। बिसाइड्स पेनिनसुलर रीजन में हमने बहुत बेटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप कर लिया है, वहाँ पे ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फैसिलिटी बहुत अच्छा हमने डेवलप किया टाइम के साथ। तो अर्लियर दिस इज़ नॉट द एरिया ऑफ thick population, but nowadays these factors resulted in moderate to high concentration of population even in these areas. Okay, now you can understand what I am trying to say. Among the socio-economic and historical factors of distribution of population, important ones are evolution of settled agriculture and agricultural development, pattern of human settlement, development of transport network, industrialization and urbanization. Is saying about what are the socio-economical factors responsible for distribution pattern of population. Okay, so it's saying that first thing which is responsible for high distribution of population in a particular area is the evolution of settled agriculture. Earlier human beings were not practicing agriculture, then they started growing some of the crops, and after that they settled as in a particular area on the basis of agriculture itself. So once the settled agriculture started, people used to reside in a that particular area where such kind of activity started, then with time develops certain villages. So that I am saying that this settled agriculture is responsible for the first overleap of population or first increase in population. And with the agricultural development at the different stages of the geological time period, population density in that area will enhance or multiplied many times. Then comes the pattern of human settlement. Human needs water for different activities, like people used to roam or transport through the waters. They need water for drinking, cooking, refining, in many of the purposes. So people used to start settling around the water bodies, which is fresh water bodies. Okay. Then comes development of transport network. Once in a particular area, or say even in a remote area, once the transportation facility is well developed, people started residing in that area because that area is connected with other parts of the world or the area through transport network, so that whatever necessary items or material for the livelihood of person and people residing in that area is or can be easily transported to or transported in that area. So people used to reside in these area also. Then one of the major factors for concentration of population is industrialization and urbanization. As the industry setups, different types of towns and states develop. Like in case of Jharkhand, if you heard about the Jharia and Dhanbad. Then in case of Odisha, if you have heard about the Raulkela. These are the towns which settled with Jamshedpur. Let's say Jamshedpur is developed by Tata itself. So these are the industrial town. And now the urbanization. With time, there brings a urban centers or the metropolitan cities like Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and a few parts of interior of the India like Bengaluru, Pune, Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad. So these area develops as a urbanized center with time. It is observed that region falling in the river plains and the coastal area of India have remained the regions of larger population concentration. Same availability of water coastal area में we can access to oceanic or sea resources. We can access or link through the oceanic sea route to the different parts of the world. We can transport easily, send cargoes. So in modern time, not earlier they people used to reside in the freshwater area only, but in modern times people now settling in the coastal area as well. All the larger cities of the world are now concentrated in the coastal area, especially after the time of time of exploration by European travelers. Okay, even through the uses of natural resources like land and water in these regions have shown a sign of degradation. The concentration of population remains high because of early history of human settlement and development of transport networks. Is saying that कि टाइम के साथ इस एरिया के रिसोर्स अब एक्सप्लॉइट होते होते इज़ नियर टू एक्सटिंक्शन, वो ख़त्म होने के कगार पे पहुंच चुके हैं वहाँ के रिसोर्स. इवन देन ये इन एरिया का पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी एंड पॉपुलेशन ज़्यादा है एज कम्पेयर टू अदर इंटीरियर पार्ट ऑफ द कॉन्टिनेंट एंड लैंड. क्यों? क्योंकि इनका एक हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड है, वहाँ पे लोग हिस्ट्री से बहुत पुराने समय से लोग वहाँ सेटल कर रहे हैं, तो लोगों का उस एरिया से और उन सिटीज़ से जुड़ाव है. रिसोर्स ख़त्म होने के बाद भी लोग उस एरिया में रह रहे हैं. उसका मेन रीज़न है एक तो ये कल्चरल एंड हिस्टोरिकल फैक्टर, एंड अदर थिंग मॉडर्न ट्रांसपोर्ट लिंकेज विच डेवलप्स राइट नाउ. सो even then these area have no or limited resources. These area are well connected with modern transport linkages and networks so that raw material or the finished product can easily comes in and comes out of these area through these transport networks. Now he's saying again that Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Ahmedabad, Pune, Chennai and Jaipur are high concentration of population due to industrial development and urbanization, drawing a large number of rural urban migrants. Especially in case of India, if you will look into these centers develop and become the main limelight area after the coming up of service sector. Means after 1991 when tertiary sector rises in India, so these centers develop as a software parks, or if we can say that service sector cities where the where the IT sector emerges, BPO emerges, and people started migrating to these area from the remote and the rural area in search of employment, and people used to enjoy the urban and the modern advanced city life of this area. So it's have a sum of the pull factor, and other rural and the backward area has a push factor, so people started to migrate to these area, and such a migration is in the form of rural urban migration. The next topic which we will discuss is the density of population in respect to India. As we already seen it, that density of population is expressed as a number of person per unit area. If you consider a single unit area, the number of people residing in that single unit area is the density of the population, and it helps in getting a better understanding of the spatial distribution of population in relation to land. Means लैंड के कंपैरिजन में उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में कितने लोग रिसाइड्स कर रहे हैं, तो एरिया का कंपैरिजन पॉपुलेशन के साथ स्पेशल पैटर्न से, दैट वी विल डिस्कस इन डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. ठीक है, वी विल सी इट इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. आई जस्ट वांट टू फिगर आउट और गिव यू सम ऑफ द फिगर रिलेटेड टू डेंसिटी राइट नाउ इन दिस क्लास इटसेल्फ, दैट कि इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन जो है 2011 सेंसस के हिसाब से द एवरेज डेंसिटी ऑफ इंडिया इज 382 पर्सन पर स्क्वायर किलोमीटर. ओके, ठीक है, 382 पर्सन पर स्क्वायर किलोमीटर है. इसके अलावा मैं कुछ और भी चीज़ें आपको दिखाना चाहूँगा, डिस्कस करेंगे इस चीज़ को नेक्स्ट क्लास में, बट राइट नाउ सी इट, सम स्लाइड इज देयर, डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. लेट्स सी इट फ्रॉम 1901 से लेकर 2011 सेंसस तक, हाउ इट इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज, when the density of population increase. So let's see it here. 1911 to 1921 तक there is a increase of 6.5%. 1921 to 1931 first time there is a decrease in density of population, and that between 1921 to 1931, and that is because of Great Depression. 1930-31 Great Depression, that is because of that reason there is a decrease in density of population. Besides that, you see it, there is always then 11.1%, then 14.4%, 13.6%, 21.4%. There is a increasing trend in density of population. The latest census of 2011 shows a slight decrease in number, 23.6 से 21.7, a slight decrease, and then a major chunk of decrease, and that is showing that now India is maturing and India will understand the benefit of family planning of population. Okay, besides that, there are few more datas are there. Here is the ranking of states and UTs by density. डेंसिटी वाइज देखिए, दिल्ली का सबसे ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी है आज के डेट में 11,300 के आसपास पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी ऑफ दिल्ली, ठीक है। सेकंड इज चंडीगढ़, तो ये तो यूटी की बात हो गई। स्टेट वाइज बिहार हैज़ द लार्जेस्ट पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी 1102। Delhi, you just see it, Delhi is in 11,000 category, and if you come up in states like Bihar, it is just 1102, so it's comparatively very lesser. Some of the UTs like Delhi and Chandigarh have a very large population density because these are the urban center. This is not a whole of the area which comes under NCT of Delhi and Chandigarh is urban center. There is no rural area in these cities. Okay, so state wise Bihar has the largest population density, then followed by West Bengal with 1029. If you go for the least population density, then Arunachal Pradesh just 17 people per square kilometer area, least population density. Then more than Arunachal, there is Andaman and Nicobar Island. More than that, Mizoram. So northeastern states have comparatively lesser population density except Assam. And the more densely populated area is the northern plains of India, Bihar, then West Bengal. Then the third is Kerala, exception from South India. Then Uttar Pradesh, then Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Punjab. These states have more population density. Bihar, then West Bengal, then Kerala, then Uttar Pradesh, then Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Jharkhand, Assam. These are the most densely populated states of India, and least densely populated Arunachal, Mizoram, Sikkim, Nagaland, Manipur. All are from northeast. Okay, in bigger state, the surprises of Jammu and Kashmir, comparatively very lesser population density. Himachal Pradesh is also have a less population density. Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh also has a very less population density, comparatively comes at 20th position. Chhattisgarh have even lesser population density than Uttarakhand. So I am resting over it right now. We will discuss the population density in detail in the next class. I hope that you will get the things properly. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the live classes. Okay, bye bye. See you in the next class.